I don't like to keep doing doom and gloom, but things are really bad. This coronavirus guy, this guy has dealt with us. The whole year so far, coronavirus has been on us. It's not gone away. It doesn't look like it's going away. We initially thought things were getting better, and then it gets worse again. And now, we were in lockdown before, we came out of lockdown gradually, and we're going back to restrictions. All sorts of things are happening. And the world is grappling, struggling for survival. And it's so sad. And it's really sad. Economies are being grounded. Businesses don't even know where to go. Individuals, even schools and universities are starting to feel it now. Where's this going to end and when? Coronavirus, can you please stop? Can you please stop? Football's been affected badly. Football has been badly affected. When we came out of lockdown, there were no crowds. They said we'll play without spectators for a while. We thought that the crowds will come back. The crowds are not coming back. What that means is that income being generated by clubs has been severely hit. Only the top clubs are staying afloat at the moment. Most of the lower clubs all over the world are struggling. We've just gone through a transfer market. Only the big clubs are buying big players. I don't know where they got the money from. But the smaller clubs, not even small clubs, clubs that we saw as big before, are not buying. They're loaning players. They're taking players on loan. And it is unprecedented. Young players, young football players are being released free into the job market because clubs cannot sustain them. In those days, even up until last year, when a player is released to go out, released from his contract free, it's because he's in his 30s and he's getting, sort of towards the end of his football playing career. Now we're seeing 24, 25-year-old football players losing their jobs as footballers, looking for clubs as free agents because the existing clubs could not sustain them. I remember there was a time about 24, 25 years ago, Alan Shearer, British English player, big guy, played in Blackburn Rovers and won the Premier League title, literally for them with his goals. And then in 1996 he was bought by Newcastle United for £15 million. That was a record at the time in England. £15 million. And we couldn't believe it. How can any player cost 15 million? And it kept going up, year in, year out. And it got to a point, by 2000, by turn of the millennium, we were saying the bubble will burst. That the bubble will burst. It can't carry on like this. But it kept carrying on. It kept going. Prices of players kept going up, further and further up, to a point where a Brazilian player, Neymar, cost 200 million euros. And a club bought him. 200 million euros. And we kept saying the bubble will burst. And nothing burst that bubble but coronavirus did. And now nobody is spending silly money buying players. The bubble's burst now. But it's burst in a really bad way because it's affecting football. It's affecting the very existence of the game. And we're sad. Because I take it away from all of that and I bring it down to my continent, about which I hold passion. And I'm asking, where's African football going to, how is African football going to recover from this? How on earth will we find a recovery for African football from this menace? Because it's bad enough in Europe. This is Europe where Africans want to come to. They can't come to Europe because even Europe can't look after themselves. And in Africa, we can't look after ourselves either. The game is suffering. We've lost the Africa Cup of Nations by 1 year. The African Women's Cup of Nations was totally scrapped. We can't have another one for another 2 years. The Champions League in Africa is, today it's going to be resumed, tomorrow it probably won't be. Nobody knows. And each individual football federation is having its own challenges. And the overall effect is not even on the administrators of football, the presidents and the general secretaries and the board members of CAF and of football. It is on the generation of youth in the grassroots of Africa, a lot of whom looked up all the time to the football field for survival, for sustenance, and for support for their families. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We've had handouts from FIFA, from CAF to each football association in Africa, handouts to help alleviate the sufferings that coronavirus has brought. Has it filtered down to the grassroots, to the talent, to the youth that we actually need to take off the streets and make something better of? No. And that is my concern today. There's a lot of talk shops everywhere. Everybody's talking. Everyone's saying one thing or the other, criticizing, badgering. We've got elections coming up in African football in March of next year. Everybody's talking about it. But I want us to focus our mindset on that which is important. The growth and development of football in Africa by the true ones who will benefit from it, the youth, the youngsters of Africa, that will reduce crime, that will reduce drug use, that will reduce joblessness in our countries, because football does that. And right now, we're in a quandary. There is a problem. There's a pandemic, and that pandemic doesn't seem to be going away. So we need to talk less, like I always say, and act more. We actually need to do something to save our game in our continent. Thank you very much for watching me. I'm grateful. I'm sorry to the non-football viewers, because there's a few of you who think that this was very football-y. My apologies. Football is my first passion. But what I said, how I've expressed myself, can go down into your mindset as well, in terms of your personal development and in terms of helping the youth in the various places where you are. Thank you once again. I would appreciate your comments as always and your feedback. Please tell me how we can make life better. Please tell me how we can come together and act more and talk less. And that we can do through your comments. Subscribe to me, as I always say, and click the notification button, as I always say, so that anytime I come back again, you will be ready to listen to me and learn something from me. Please, we need to progress. We need progress in every way. Our youth in particular, I am particular about. And I want us to actually show passion towards the growth and development and the survival of African football. Remember, please buy my book. I'll have to ask you, please buy my book. Thank you very much.